presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black Force. We are Arizona.
It's baseball time in the Valley. We're at Chase Field where the roof is open. The D-backs in a first-place tie atop the division, looking to take 3 of 4 in this series with the Padres. Tonight, Taijuan Walker pitches against San Diego's Jared Weaver. Join us for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast on this Throwback Thursday. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. Let's get right to it. The diagnosis is in on Shelby Miller. He has a strained tendon in his right forearm and a partial tear of the UCL in his right elbow. Shelby has been placed on the 60-day disabled list. He's going to be out a while. So the question for Torey Lovullo today was, what next?
But there are two options. There's two options here, and one is to rehab it, and one is to have surgery. And we're working hard to figure out what the best situation is.
Well, Bob, you feel absolutely sick for Shelby Miller, who has worked so hard to get back to the level at which he's performed this year, but you have some hard questions to ask yourself here. What do you do?
Yeah, that's the big question. What do you do next? And it is so unfortunate for Shelby Miller. I mean, this happens to every team at some point during the course of the season. You're going to have to dip into your minor leagues or your bullpen to plug a hole in the rotation. But personally, because it happened to Shelby Miller, everything he went through physically and mentally last year, the tremendous road he was on this year, it really is a shame.
Well, they have an off day on Monday, so they do have some time to figure out where to proceed next. Left-hander TJ McFarland has been called up from Reno. He's in the bullpen tonight behind Taijuan Walker, who gets the baseball on this Throwback Thursday against the Padres' Jared Weaver. First pitch is coming up shortly on Fox Sports Arizona.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Bequiva, and Wild Horse Pass. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealer, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the Gig Life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM.
Oh, just a great night to be here at Chase Field. The roof is open up on this Throwback Thursday. Taijuan Walker goes for his third win this year for the Diamondbacks against the Padres' Jared Weaver, who looks for his first. Can the D-backs take 3 of 4 from San Diego? First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Very comfortable night at Chase Field with the roof open, the outfield panels closed. The D-backs, despite last night's disappointing loss to the Padres, taking the field tonight 10-3 in their ballpark this year. That matches the best home start in their history. And a chance tonight to take 3 of 4 from Andy Green's Padres. Here is the San Diego batting order. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Manuel Margot once again leading it off out in center field. Eric Ibar's done so much damage against the D-backs. They moved him up to the 2 spot. He'll be playing shortstop. Will Myers at first base. Jan Hervey Solarte at second. Hunter Renfroe out in right field. Ryan Schimpf at third base. Alan Cordoba out in left field. Luis Torrens doing the catching for veteran right-hander Jared Weaver.
On the mound for the Diamondbacks, your Ram truck starting pitcher. He looks good in that throwback uni. It's big Taijuan Walker. The right-hander 2-1, a 4.57 ERA. This will be his first start as a Diamondback in which he's not facing either the Giants or the Dodgers.
Change is a good thing. Last time out against the Dodgers, he got the win. Gave up 4 runs in 5 2/3 in that game, but his offense scored 13 for him in a blowout of the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium.
Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
A.J. Pollock once again patrolling center field with Yasmani Tomas in left. David Peralta in right. Some changes in the infield with Brandon Drury out today. Jake Lamb will be at third. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Chris Owings at second base tonight. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Chris Herman doing the catching for right-hander Taijuan Walker.
Eric Cooper has the balls and strikes tonight. He's the plate umpire. Adrian Johnson is at first base. The crew chief Gary Cedarstrom is at second. And Tom Woodring is at third. Diamondbacks tonight can win this series 3-1, which would give them wins in each of their first 4 home series of the season, something that's never been done in team history. A rookie center fielder Manuel Margot will lead it off, 283 and 3 home runs on a beautiful Thursday night in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Arizona. Settle in, D-backs and the Padres. Fastball inside is 1-0 on Margot, who comes into tonight with a 6-game hitting streak. He's got 4 hits in the series.
Boy, a lot of things tipping in Taijuan Walker's favor tonight. Number one, he's got great stuff out there on the mound, or at least he has recently. This Padres team has shown they're a very aggressive hacking ball club. And you've got Eric Cooper behind the plate, whose strike zone is as big as the world.
Well, that's good for Taijuan, the way he likes to work up in the zone, especially with that fastball.
At least that's what I told him right before he ejected me.
He didn't like that, huh?
No, not even a little bit.
It hasn't gotten any smaller over the years then.
Not to me.
2-2 now. Well, let's get into it, BB. Here's your Valley Honda dealer's key to the game.
Well, we know Taijuan Walker likes to elevate the fastball. He's got a real good splitter down, a good hard slider off the outside corner. Use all your weapons against this Padres team. We've seen these young guys chase high fastballs. We've seen them chase sliders off the plate, and we've seen them chase off-speed pitches in the dirt.
Chris Herman behind the plate tonight. The 2-2 to Margot. Fastball off the plate missed, and it's a full count, 3-2. The troublesome Eric Ibar is on deck. Broken bat bouncer in the hole. Wham in front of Ahmed. One away. We talked about this on the Snake Talk radio program last night. And you know, Ibar has had a great series, had a home run last night, but Bob, I thought that bunt single in the 9th inning really got the San Diego rally started against Fernando Rodney.
Yeah, when the inning started, they were trailing by 2 runs. They just needed a base runner, so if somebody did happen to hit the ball out of the ballpark, you possibly tie the game up. But Ibar looked up, saw Jake Lamb playing back at third base, and just dumped a perfect bunt for base hit down that third baseline.
Hector Sanchez followed with a single, and then Ryan Schimpf that 3-run homer to give the Padres the lead. San Diego came back with 5 in the 9th, and they won at 8-5.
Not surprisingly, Eric Ibar, I believe that was the 109th career bunt for a base hit.
And according to your somewhat reliable staff, that places him 10th all time.
You are correct. They've been keeping that particular stat, bunt base hit, since 1960, so it may have happened somewhere a long time ago.
Well, Ibar 4 hits in the series. Both of his home runs this season have come against the Diamondbacks. Of course, he had that home run at Petco Park last week off Zach Greinke in that 0-0 game. Zach will get the ball coming up on Saturday against the Colorado Rockies. Taijuan Walker in his last start, not afraid to go to an off-speed pitch when he was behind in the count, and he did it right there.
He's really not just strictly a power pitcher out there. He can be a power pitcher on a given day, but he's got a nice assortment of off-speed deliveries, and when he's feeling those pitches on a given day, he can really be a handful for an opposing team.
Yeah, in his last start, he went to an off-speed pitch about half the time when he was behind in the count, pitching backwards as it were. And he's back even on Ibar, 2-2. Oh, he dropped another one in there. First strikeout for Taijuan Walker, 2 down. I think Eric Ibar agrees with you about Eric Cooper's strike zone.
Big as the world.
Will Myers.
Oh, that's a good pitch right on that inside corner. Straight down that time.
Boy, when you elevate the fastball as often as he does, and then you drop that pitch in there at that eye level and have it drop down, that's a dangerous combination. Will Myers, been a weird series for Will Myers. 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts last night. He struck out 9 times in 15 at-bats in this series. And for most of the series, he's been leading the major leagues in hits. He has doubled and homered so far. He hits that one over the glove of Lamb, and it's headed for the left field corner. Myers is headed for second as Tomas picks it up on the warning track. That's his 7th double.
I'll tell you one thing we've seen from Wil Myers in the early going this season. He rarely misses breaking ball strikes. If you throw it in there in the strike zone, he's able to keep those hands back and then just explode through the ball. He still handles the fastball very well, especially fastballs up and out over the plate, but breaking ball strikes he hits hard to left field.
Well, here's the guy who's had the best series for San Diego. It's the switch hitting second baseman Yangervis Solarte. 298 and 2 home runs. He's got 12 hits in his last 26 at bats. Red hot coming into tonight. 8 hits in the series. He's knocked in 3 runs. Solarte last night had a pair of doubles. That's foul behind first base coach Johnny Washington. 1-1 on Solarte. Numbers during his 7-game hitting streak, hitting over 460. Blast that one into right. Glenn Hoffman will wave Wil Myers home. Here's the throw from Peralta, and it's not in time. The Padres take a 1-0 lead. Another hit for Yangervis Solarte, his 9th in this series.
Man, most of them have sounded just like that. He is really feeling it up there at the plate right now. Every time he swings the bat, he gets the barrel on the ball. Hard line drive through that right side. I thought David might have a chance to throw him out. The ball was hit so hard. David got to it in good shape. Strong throw to the plate, but Wil Myers beats it easily.
A double and a single against Taijuan Walker, both with 2 outs. 1-0 San Diego. Here's the rookie Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe 247 with 5 home runs. That leads all National League rookies. He homered last night. His 2nd home run in 4 games. That fastball's in there for a strike. Here's Renfroe last night to lead off the 6th against Archie Bradley.
Yeah, breaking ball that stayed on that inside part of the plate.
Ooh, onto the home run porch. He's got tremendous power, just 25 years old. But he's up there hunting for fastballs.
Yeah, it's funny because he's swung through some hittable fastballs in this series. Those off-speed pitches in the zone he's hit hard. Last night against Archie Bradley that we just showed you was a curveball that stayed inside, but he does hack at those fastballs.
Solarte takes off, pitches high. Herman's throw is not in time. 2nd stolen base of the year for Yangervis Solarte.
Walker takes a little while to unwind. That's a pretty good pitch to handle for Chris Herman. Comes up out of the crouch just to catch the pitch. But Solarte had a good enough jump. He's able to just get in underneath Chris Owings' tag.
Now a 2-2 count on Renfroe with Solarte at 2nd. 1 run already in conference time at the mound. Torey Lovullo having Jerry Narron check with Alan Campbell, the video coordinator. Saw Jerry. Nope. No chance he was in there. So a 20 pitch first for Taijuan Walker. Renfroe is not a patient hitter. He's walked only twice all year, so well located breaking balls really give him trouble. He'll chase. Got him with a fastball. 2 strikeouts in the inning.
But the Padres score first. Diamondbacks coming up against Jared Weaver. On Harvey Solarte, the RBI single, and San Diego has the early lead. For your Ram truck starting pitcher for the Padres, the veteran right-hander Jared Weaver, now 34 years old. Winless, but really he's pitched better than that. He's completed 6 innings in each of his last 3 starts, and he's given up more than 2 earned runs only once this year.
And he really throws the kitchen sink at this stage of his career. He'll throw a high four-seamer, a sinker, a curve, a slider, a changeup. The thing is, velocity will not be part of his game tonight. His average fastball just a tick under 85 this year.
He's also very vulnerable to the home run ball. Our lineup for the Diamondbacks brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Pollock, Peralta, Goldschmidt, Lamb, Tomas, Herman, Owings, Ahmed, and Walker.
AJ drops one out to Cordoba, who makes a diving catch in left field. Alan Cordoba. 1 pitch, 1 out for Weaver.
Right fielder.
Sound like AJ might have caught it out near the end of the bat just a little bit. Cordoba, utility guy, plays all over the field, makes a nice catch. That's the toughest play for an outfielder. That one hit right at him, and they have to come in and make a diving attempt toward the infield. Nice play.
David Peralta now. Peralta on base 5 times last night. He singled twice, walked 3 times, now hitting almost 350 this year. And the Padres have the shift on. Solarte, the second baseman, out in the outfield. Ryan Schimpf, the third baseman, right near second base ump Gary Cederstrom. 0-2 on David Peralta.
Yeah, Weaver has a real long slinging action with that right arm. Really extends it out behind his back and then starts his body forward, and the arm kind of drags behind, slings it up there.
Well, this could be a dangerous ballpark for him. Mention the home run balls. Last year, Weaver led the National League. He gave up 37 homers. And in 4 starts this year, he's given up 7 home runs. That's the most of the major leagues. Winless in 4 starts, but he's hardly pitched badly. The ERA under 4. He's only given up 19 hits in 23 innings, not really walking anybody. And he's held the opposition to 2 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts, so he's pitched pretty well lately, even with that low 80s fastball. How do you adjust, BB, if you're used to seeing 94, 95 all the time every day, and suddenly here comes Weaver at 83, 84?
I think some guys just approach it like they do batting practice. You know, in BP, the coach is out there throwing the ball 60, 65 miles an hour from 45 feet, and guys just rake them all over the field. Just have to try to stay back.
Weaver couldn't close the glove on it, and Peralta almost beats it out, but that's out number 2.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-a-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Paul Goldschmidt now, 7 hits and 6 RBIs in this series, and he only played half an inning Monday in the opener. Now up to 321 with 4 home runs. That beard is a new look. I guess Amy hasn't vetoed that thing yet. Roller to third. Ryan Schimpf is there. Low throw, but Myers stays on the bag, and Weaver works a 1-2-3 inning. Diamondbacks trail the Padres 1-0.
How are you handling this news?
It sucks. I mean, it's not good news. I mean, you never want to, be put in this kind of situation or ever, never would you ever think it had happened to you. But, it is what it is. I mean, it's just one of those things that you can't really control. I'm pretty torn up about not being able to pitch for a while.
That was Shelby Miller after learning officially today that he has suffered a partial UCL tear along with a strained tendon in his right forearm. The D-back starter has been transferred to the 60-day disabled list as he weighs his options for treatment, ranging from rehab to PRP stem cell therapy or Tommy John surgery.
Well, they'll proceed very cautiously, says Torey Lovello, and figure out the best course of action, which is why they sought out so many opinions from some of the best doctors in the business as Ryan Schimpf leads off the second. But Bob, it appears, as we mentioned at the top of the show, that Shelby will be out quite a while here.
Yeah, unfortunately, as we mentioned in the open, every team gets tested over the course of the season. You're going to lose guys from your rotation. You're going to lose guys from your bullpen to injuries, and that's when it really tests the depth of your organization. But in this particular case, because of everything Shelby's been through, it's just a very, very unfortunate thing to happen to him right now.
We'll talk to GM Mike Hazen about what the Diamondbacks plan to do in the bottom of this inning. Mike will join us in the booth as Taijuan Walker gets his 3rd strikeout.
We talked about it a little bit last night. A lot of tremendous advances with the Tommy John surgery itself, should that be the route they choose. Guys are coming back a lot faster and a lot better from the Tommy John surgery, but also the guys that elect not to have the surgery and go through the rehab. By trial and error, they've figured out what works and what doesn't work and what the timetable needs to be and when do you start throwing and when do you stretch it out. And in that respect, we know a lot more about rehabbing these kinds of injuries as opposed to just automatically getting Tommy John surgery.
Ruby De La Rosa is going through such a process right now, and Ruby has looked very good this spring in extended spring training, throwing mid-90s. As hopefully he's back at some point soon in a bullpen role. And the Red Sox saw some trouble with David Price in spring training and shut him down for a while. So there are different avenues, and we'll talk to Mike Hazen about that coming up in the bottom half of this inning. Jake Lamb at third. Low throw. Goldie's there. They get Cordova 2 down. Well, it's interesting that Taijuan Walker is facing this lineup tonight because you've got Ryan Schimpf, who despite the home run last night is hitting 115 on the year. He's batting 6th. And then the Padres, this is very unusual. They have Rule 5 picks hitting back-to-back in their lineup 7 and 8, and then the pitcher Weaver 9th. So this is not exactly murderer's row here at the bottom of this Padre order.
Yeah, you'd like to think this would be a breather inning for Taijuan Walker as he rolls around to the bottom of this Padres orders, but as we've learned, anybody with a bat in their hands is dangerous.
Lorenz to second. Chris Owings is there, and that's an 8-pitch inning for Taijuan Walker. The GM Mike Hazen joins us next when we come back. The Padres 1-0 in the second inning, and we're joined by Diamondbacks GM Mike Hazen. Thanks for stopping by. I know this is, I wish it was under better circumstances. Yeah. We had a little clip from Torrey at the start of the show. What is the plan now for Shelby Miller?
Well, the plan is a little undefined at present. We're still trying to, put the information together to ultimately help Shelby make the best decision possible. This wasn't a situation where I think in some of these cases it's very clear cut. The path is very defined once you go see the doctors, get the MRI. I don't think this is one of those cases. It's a little grayer, and as such, you need to weigh what the options are, and there are options to rehab and there are options for surgical intervention. And before he makes that decision, we want to make sure we have all the information we need.
And it seemed like as part of that process that this was a very deliberate process, getting a second and a third opinion from some guys who are best in the business.
As it should be. When you're talking about this amount of time down, regardless whether it's conservative or through surgery, you can't rush into these decisions. And on the front side, there's nothing from a timetable standpoint that's speeding us up. Right. If it takes another week, it's not changing the ultimate outcome on where it will be on the back end. And so again, taking that time to make sure the process is right for Shelby, because once we make that decision, he's going to go through a process that he needs to go through physically to get back on the field, and that's a big piece to what's going to come next.
Jake Lamb drives one to center. Manuel Margot is there though, and Jared Weaver has set down all four he's faced. We're talking with D-backs GM Mike Hazen. How is Shelby doing? How's he taking this?
Well, he's taking it as well as you can expect under the circumstance. I think he's very disappointed not being able to be out there with his teammates. And that's on a group level. I think with the start that we've gotten off to, and he's been a part of that and a strong part of that, and wanting to continue to be a part of that for any athlete, for any competitor. And then obviously personally, I think what he's gone through over the last year, where he came into spring training what he had done to put himself in a position to come in and contribute and show everybody, I think, here who he really was, who he has been for the last 3 years.
It was impressive.
It was.
Really impressive. Yeah.
And for that reason, I think more than anything else, you know, myself personally, when I look at Shelby, that's what hurts more than anything else is you saw what he put into it, having the conversations and wanting to get past what had happened and show the real Shelby Miller, and he was doing that. And unfortunately, that's been cut short here temporarily.
Well, and now moving forward, I know the team has an off day coming up on Monday, so that kind of altered the rotation a little bit, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussions as to who takes his spot in the rotation. Any possible decisions there yet?
Yeah, Osmani Tomas skies one to shortstop for Ibar. 2 down.
And yeah, we've had a lot of initial discussions. Zach came in yesterday and pitched really well, I think. We'll continue to rely on our depth from AAA. You know, this time of the season, there's no real trades to be made out there. Teams are still assessing what they have, and so the market is, you're not going to be able to probably go out with one of the 29 other teams and get somebody. So we're going to have to rely on our depth in those cases. And as you alluded to, with the off days we have coming up on multiple Mondays, you know, as you saw where we inserted Zach, you know, we tried to give Taiwan and Robbie an extra day and trying to build as much extra time in between starts as possible. We'll continue to look to do that because I think we've just gotten through a stretch in April. We've had very few off days, and we want to, you know, most of our off days are stacked in June and July, and we're going to want to make sure our guys are strong there too. So those are all the dynamics we're considering right now.
D-backs fans may say, why not just put Archie Bradley in there?
And that's certainly a consideration and something we're going to talk about. Right now, he's throwing the ball really well in the pen. But as you remember, when we went off into spring training, we talked all offseason about having 6 starters for 5 spots. And that spot didn't emerge until just now.
Right.
And one, he hasn't been stretched out as a starter. So we need to, if we're going to make that decision, make sure we do that the right way. And then secondly, you know, he's been elite in the bullpen. And so that's a factor, although any one of those things in and of themselves is not the driving determinant. You know, we want to look at both the short and long-term impact of our team, of our rotation, how the team's played, and how all these things come together. And your depth impacts that, the schedule impacts that, et cetera, et cetera.
Here's Chris Herman up there with a 2-2 count as we talk to Mike Hazen. Fly ball center field. Manuel Margot. I've seen enough of this guy already. One of your guys from Boston. Mike Hazen, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Guys, anytime.
Thanks, Mike.
You got it.
The 3rd inning. Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
D-backs trail at 1-0. Taijuan Walker has set down 4 in a row. He's got 3 strikeouts so far, and Padres pitcher Jared Weaver leads off the third. Will Myers double, a Yarn Hervey Solarte single in the first inning, the only run of the game so far. Our thanks to D-backs GM Mike Hazen for stopping by our booth. It's good to get some answers about where to go next. They're still analyzing everything. That seems to be the way that the new front office operates regardless of the situation. Let's make the most informed, best decision possible.
Gather as much information as you possibly can. Guys who have been through similar things, talking to the doctors, talking to the trainers, talking to other pitchers, I'm sure, that have been through it. He's trying to gather as much information as possible before ultimately making that decision.
Well, that's the 4th strikeout tonight for Taijuan Walker and the 44th strikeout recorded by D-backs pitchers in this series. That is tied for the most in team history in a series against the Padres. So 1 more strikeout for Walker tonight. And the Diamondbacks will have set a new team record for strikeouts in a series against San Diego. Manuel Margot grounded out to lead off the ball game. Taijuan ahead 0-2. Fastball up and away, missed a ball, and 2 strikes on Manuel Margot.
You know, everybody in this game has a gut instinct, your knee-jerk reaction to something, but I don't think this particular front office is going to have a knee-jerk reaction to anything.
They got too many thinkers over there.
Yeah.
And it's an impressive group that they put together. And they all come from the same sort of front office tree that started with Mark Shapiro in Cleveland and Theo Epstein in Boston. You've got Amiel Sade over there with Mike Hayes and Jared Porter. Mike Fitzgerald running the analytics. It's a very, very bright group. And that's a real strength for the Diamondbacks. 2 down now. Calling all kids between the ages of 10 and 16 if you'd like to be part of a D-backs telecast. Interview a player, go behind the scenes and see what it takes to produce a baseball game on the TV. Then come on out Sunday to Chase Field, Fox Sports Arizona, and Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions from 11:30 to 1:30. They're at the Sandlot near Baxter's Den during the D-backs and the Rockies game. Eric Ibar, the shortstop.
I'm sure our front offices crunch the numbers on how the D-backs play when they wear purple. These throwback Thursdays.
Ibar sends one toward left center. He's on base again. Eric Ibar holds into second with his 4th double this year, the 3rd hit for the Padres against Taijuan Walker.
Who is that guy?
Well, he's now hit safely in 5 straight games and 8 of his last 9.
Well, Eric Ibar throughout his career has been a guy that always hits at the bottom of the order, and you don't really pay a lot of attention to him in the advanced meetings. As I've mentioned throughout this 4 games here, he's pitched him up and out over the plate. Let him hit lazy fly balls to left field. That one was down, dropped the bat head on it, and found the gap in left center.
Will Myers doubled and scored back in the 1st.
Oh, by the way, this is only our 2nd Throwback Thursday of the season, but the D-backs are undefeated on Throwback Thursday.
1-0. Will Myers is a guy very aggressive on fastballs in his zone, but he's looked at 2 of them so far, and it's 0-2. Lays off that one upstairs, 1-2. Myers last year, the first Padre ever with at least 25 doubles, 25 home runs, and 25 stolen bases in one season. He missed a 30-30 season by 2 home runs and 2 steals. Said this year he wanted to be a 40-40 guy. Strictly fastballs from Taijuan Walker. It's 2-2.
Well, given the fact that Will Myers played half of his games at Petco Park last year, I'm pretty sure he would have had 2 home runs in a lot of other ballparks.
You have to think so. 28 homers last year, 94 RBIs, 28 steals, played solid defense, learning how to be a full-time first baseman. This is bounced to third. Lamb, nice scoop on the short hop, and he throws him out. Walker strands the 2-out double. Diamondbacks trail at 1-0.
Nothing. Let's have our eye on defense, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers. Cordoba, Margot, and Renfroe left to right across the outfield for the Padres tonight. Schimpf and Ibar on the left side. Solarte and Myers on the right side. Youngster Luis Torrens doing the catching for right-hander Jared Weaver.
Chris Owings at second base leads off the third against Weaver, who has set down all 6 he's faced. CL hits one deep left field. It's gone. Number 3 for Chris Owings, and we're tied at 1. His second home run in this series, a 1-1 ball game.
Loopy breaking ball that stayed in the strike zone away from Chris Owings. Really had to reach out there and kind of snap that ball back to left field with his hands and wrists. Weaver can't believe it.
The 8th home run given up by Jared Weaver this year. That leads the major leagues. Here's Nick Ahmed. Ryan Schimpf, backhand stop at third. 1 pitch, 1 out for Weaver. A jumbo jack off the bat of Chris Owings. A free jumbo jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink from our friends at Jack in the Box, as Taijuan Walker steps up.
Taijuan Walker.
D-backs beginning play today, tied with the Rockies atop the National League West for the division lead. Colorado once again today destroyed by those Washington Nationals, and Bryce Harper 16-5 was the final at Coors.
This is along the right field line, drifting out of play. It's foul.
Four-game series in Colorado. The Nats scored 4 runs in the first game, then 15, 11, and 16. 46 total runs in the 4-game series.
We go to Washington to play the Nationals for a 3-game set starting Tuesday. Dodgers won in San Francisco today. LA beat the Giants 5-1. Couple of getaway day Thursday games in the NL West. Rockies are in here tomorrow night for the first of 3. And what'll be a very big series. That's going to be a neck and neck deal all year long, it looks like right now. Robbie Ray and Kyle Freeland tomorrow. Zach Greinke on Saturday, Patrick Corbin Sunday. Then it's off to Washington. That's actually registers as a fastball from Jared Weaver at 82. Full count on Walker, 3-2. Myers near the seats, but that's out of play.
Taijuan Walker taking a very controlled swing.
Good.
Just taking it easy, just trying to get the bat on the ball. He had a little back tightness a couple starts ago that he blamed on a big swing that he took at the plate. So he's been much more under control as a hitter.
Well, he's pulled a Goldie. The count has gone from 0-2 to 3-2, and on the 7th pitch of the at-bat, he draws a walk. A terrific at-bat by Taijuan Walker, and Weaver can't believe it. That brings up the top of the order, and what a combo it's been. A.J. Pollock and David Peralta, our State Farm winning combo, the 1 and 2 hitters. And Bob, what's interesting here is they both got it going on the same day, April 17th. That was the Monday game the Diamondbacks won at Dodger Stadium on the last road trip. Look at these numbers for these two guys since April 17th.
Wow, just crazy numbers. One guy hitting well over 500, the other guy approaching it. 21 runs scored between them, 38 hits between them in 9 ball games.
I mean, you can't get better production from your 1 and 2 hitters than that. And here is AJ, who flied out to lead off the ball game for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, not to mention that A.J. Pollock especially, but also David Peralta running the bases like their hair's on fire. Stealing second, stealing third.
Yeah, AJ's already got 7 stolen bases on the year. And another one last night. Peralta on deck. So a 3-hit game for AJ last night. He's got 5 hits in the series, including a pair of doubles. And he scored 6 times in the series so far. Hard to ask for much more from your leadoff man than that.
And every time AJ has been on base in this series, it has brought the game to a grinding halt. San Diego pitchers, I mean, everybody that's been out there, whether it's a starter or a reliever, when AJ gets on base, they start picking off at first, they start pitching out. Really changes the game.
Yeah, he had Clayton Richard really rattled here on Tuesday night. Richard kind of lost his focus and didn't survive the 4th inning. 2-2.
Well, you know, you ask what could you do against a guy like Weaver, who obviously does not throw hard.
Yeah.
Fastball in the mid-80s, a variety of off-speed pitches in the 70s, dipping down into the 60s at times. One thing you can physically do is move forward in the batter's box, closer to the pitcher.
Check swing roller right to Solarte. Ibar and turn it. AJ safe at first.
Very few guys move at all in the batter's boxes anymore.
What does that get you if you move up?
Well, it makes the pitch appear to be a little quicker because you're closer to the pitcher. Try to get as far up in that batter's box as you can toward the mound to maybe simulate a little bit of extra velocity that will allow your timing to stay close to what it usually is. If you insist on standing in the back of the batter's box where you always do, then you really have to focus on letting the ball travel, slowing everything down just a little bit, and then exploding when that ball gets into the hitting zone.
David Peralta. And it's going to reach the seats.
You saw that swing from David Peralta right there. Guys are just a little bit out front, and because Weaver tries to stay out of the strike zone, he tries to get you to chase pitches off the edges. Everybody ends up extending at the very end of their swing just to get to the ball.
That's where he's standing in the box. Seems about normal. Now AJ is going to drive Jared Weaver crazy over there. Peralta has been on a remarkable tear, as we documented a moment ago. Multiple hits in 5 consecutive games and 7 of his last 8. AJ bluffs and holds. Peralta look down to first right away on that one.
Yeah, well out in front of an off-speed pitch that time. That was the first delivery, and you can see as David started to swing, everything looked kind of normal. And then at the very end, he kind of extended, reached way out there with the bottom hand just to get a piece of that pitch.
Well, it's not sexy, but it's been working for Jared Weaver, as we mentioned earlier. 0-2 to Peralta, and he looks at strike 3. But the Diamondbacks get the equalizer. Chris Owings leads it off with his 3rd home run this year. There it goes. CO a homer. We're tied at 1 after 3. So far against Jared Weaver, but Chris Owings' homer has tied the game at 1. D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on your TV, stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Just download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and the Arizona Diamondbacks with you wherever you go. And Hervey Solarte leads off the 4th against Taijuan Walker. Solarte had an RBI single his first time up and stole a base. Of course, if you use the Fox Sports Go app, there may be, I'm not sure, but there may be a password involved, and that's where the Brenly household may run into trouble.
Don't even go there.
We've all been there with passwords. Just saying.
Oh, man.
You're not alone. That was over the line. I shouldn't have done that.
I just don't know how to respond.
There's no good way. Big cut at that one. 1-2. What's my password again?
What's the password for the,
do you remember?
The music and the...
And the cloud, there's a cloud or something?
It's not even cloudy outside. I don't understand. Where are my pictures?
Chases a high fastball. And there's the record. Diamondbacks 45 strikeouts recorded by their pitchers. That's a team record for a single series.
Well, we kind of thought 5 was going to be easily attained tonight by Taijuan Walker against this aggressive hacking Padres lineup. He got 5 punch-outs here in the top half of the 4th.
Solarte chased a couple of bad ones in that at bat. Here's Hunter Renfroe, who was a strikeout victim in the first. Renfroe homered last night. And he's got a 6-game hitting streak that ties a career high. Hunter Renfroe played his college ball at Mississippi State in Stark Vegas. First-round pick by the Padres 4 years ago. Really good college player. 2-1. That's what he does, boy. He sees that fastball and his eyes just light up. He has come up through the minor leagues just crushing baseballs. Sometimes the swing gets really violent like you just saw there. Took that fastball for a strike, and it's 2-2.
This is one of those power against power. Renfroe, obviously a guy that can hit the ball a mile if he makes contact, but so far Taijuan Walker going after him with all fastballs.
Chases another heater there. 6 strikeouts for Taijuan. And now he'll deal with Ryan Schimpf, who was a strikeout victim to lead off the second. But of course, Schimpf against Fernando Rodney had the big hit last night, a 3-run homer in the 9th inning.
And it was a big, long home run down that right field line. Narrowly missed hitting the facing of the second deck, well back into the bleachers in right field.
He's got 7 hits all season long, but 4 of them are home runs. Hit 20 in half a season last year. Starts him off with a first pitch curveball, but it's 1-0. Diamondbacks realigned defensively. Ahmed the shortstop. Or make that, Ahmed the shortstop's out there in right field. Schimpf skies one. Left center, Yasmani Tomas calling for it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Taijuan Walker. D-backs and Padres all tied at 1. Ball game. Fans, you can take advantage of unique outing spaces here at the ballpark, like the Coors Light Strike Zone, the all-you-can-eat seats, the PetSmart patio, and more. When you bring your group to Chase Field, you can host your employees or clients with discounted tickets and take advantage of group perks. 602-462-4600 is the phone number, or visit dbacks.com/groups as Goldie leads off the 4th against Jared Weaver. Grounded out his first time up. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Paul Goldschmidt. Diamondbacks 1 through 3 hitters on this homestand are hitting over 460 with 21 RBIs and 28 runs scored. Tremendous production from the top of this D-back order.
Now, the numbers usually are going to be skewed toward the top of any team's batting order, but these guys have been absolutely ridiculous on this homestand.
Let's see what Weaver has for Goldie on a 2-1 count. Curveball down and away. It's 3 balls and a strike. Jake Lamb on deck. Goldie begins tonight with a 6-game hitting streak. He's got 12 RBIs over that span. And he's had multiple RBIs in 5 straight games in which he's had at least 1 at bat. A leadoff walk. Second walk of the ball game issued by Jared Weaver.
After that swing Goldie took at the first pitch, it looked like Jared Weaver just wasn't interested in throwing him another strike.
Can you blame him? No. Jake Lamb.
Boy, Jake hit the ball hard first time up, lined out to Manuel Margot in center, hit a knuckleball out there. Manuel had to make a nice play on it.
You see Arbar, the shortstop, the only infielder on the left-hand side. Jake 1 for 10 in the series, had an RBI single last night. Goldie takes off for second. The throw from Torrens is in the dirt. And Paul Goldschmidt has his 6th stolen base in 6 attempts this year. D-backs very aggressive in this series on the bases.
Real good jump, no peek back to home plate, which indicates it was a straight steal all the way. And once again, a perfect slide into second base. You don't see Goldie flopping around on the shortstop side of the bag. Hit the base and stay right there.
He's in scoring position. Nobody out. A 1-0 count on Lamb. Diamondbacks still with just 1 hit against Weaver. The Owings home run that led off the 3rd. Big slow curveballs in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
I'm making a call, partner.
Oh, I love it. What are you calling?
I don't do it often, but I think Jake Lamb's going to hit one a mile off of Jared Weaver tonight. Maybe this is bad. He hit that ball so hard into center field the first time. His timing was perfect. He squared it up.
A hard grounder, but it's right into the shift for Solarte. Goldie into 3rd, and that's the first out.
Well, it wasn't a homer, but it was a productive out. It's Goldie over to 3rd base with only 1 out in the inning. Well, you don't need a base hit to score it.
How big a difference do outs like that really make?
You hitting the ball hard?
No, just moving, hit it to the right side, advancing the runner. The term productive out in itself, I guess, tells you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd like to see it roll through into right field for a base hit and have Goldie score from second base. But if you're going to make an out, at least advance that runner 90 feet and set it up for the guys behind you in the batting order.
Those little things add up.
Yeah, now the Padres have to draw their infield in. That increases Yasmani's chances of driving one through the infield if he hits it on the ground. If he gets that ball to medium depth outfield, it'll be a sac fly. We used to joke, instead of calling him productive outs, we'd give the guy a half an RBI. If the runner scores from 3rd after you moved him up, we used to joke, you get a half an RBI.
Well, let's see what Yasmani can do here. Padre infielders are in on the grass. It's 2-0. Goldie at 3rd and 1 out. Yasmani had a rough night last night. 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts. He also hit into a double play. This will bring the run home. Renfroe still backing up. And there it goes. El Tanque Yasmani Tomas. That's number 5. And it's 3-1 Diamondbacks. You called it just 1 batter too soon. Second home run of the ball game against Jared Weaver for the Diamondbacks. A 2-run shot from Yasmani Tomas. Oh, wow. That is the definition of a hanging nothing ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a cutter or a 4-seamer, but at 84 miles an hour, elevated in the strike zone, that's going to get hit hard somewhere.
Chris Herman. You throw a pitch like that on a 2-0 count to a guy like Tomas, and you better believe it's a jumbo jack. That's one of the reasons why Weaver has has struggled so badly with the long ball. As we mentioned at the top of the show, he gave up 37 homers last year. That led the league. And he's already given up 9 this year. That's the most in baseball. Chris Herman hits one hard, but again right to the shift. That's the third baseman, Ryan Schimpf, 5-3 on the putout, and 2 down in the 4th.
This is Jared Weaver's 5th start of the season. He's given up at least 2 home runs in 4 of them.
Ouch. Chris Owings in there at second base tonight. He homered to lead off the 3rd against Weaver, his 3rd of the year, a solo shot. Night off for Brandon Drury. And if you're wondering about Brandon's right knee, he's just fine. Thank goodness. Jammed his right knee on an awkward play at first base last night. And Torlavello said Brandon is doing okay. Brandon said he's fine. He expects to play tomorrow, which is great news. Just a precaution coming out of the game last night. And with the way that right leg landed on that first base bag, or just after it, it's a miracle that he wasn't seriously injured. This was a nerve-wracking for a moment.
I'll tell you, the thing that flashed through my mind at the time was Cody Ross.
Yeah, he broke his leg doing that.
Yeah, dislocated his hip. He landed real hard on his right leg, and all the force went up into his hip. Fortunately, that wasn't the case with Brandon Drury. He absorbed a little bit in his ankle and a little bit in his knee, but says he'll be fine and back in the lineup tomorrow.
Chris Owings, high fly ball, deep left field, way back and gone. Chris Owings, his 2nd home run tonight, his 4th of the year, and the Diamondbacks have opened up the lead. He is killing the ball right now.
Boy, he really is. Hands are very, very active at the tail end of his swing. Gets that bat into the hitting zone. Watch how quick his hands drive through the ball. No doubt about that one.
Chris Owings, 2 at-bats, 2 home runs.
Oh, that's where the big guys hit.
You bet. He's now got 6 hits and 10 RBIs in this series, Chris Owings. He's homered 3 times. And Chris this year, 13 games at Chase Field counting tonight. He's got 18 RBIs. Nick Ahmed, high fly ball, right field. Renfroe chasing after it. And that's the inning. But Yasmani Tomas comes up with a 2-run homer. Chris Owings, a solo shot, his 2nd of the game. Yasmani got it started. And then Owings tacks on another one. We are through 4 at Chase Field. D-backs lead the Padres 4-1.
Tonight, Diamondbacks lead it 4-1 as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, we're only one run away. Diamondbacks have just 3 hits, but they're all home runs. And Taijuan Walker starts the 5th with a 4-1 lead as Alan Cordoba leads it off for the Padres. 2 Rule 5 picks and a pitcher coming up in this inning. Cordoba, Torrens, and Weaver, 7, 8, 9. Alan Cordoba grounded out his first time up, was 0 for 2 with a strikeout in Tuesday's game. He scored as a pinch runner last night. And it's a guy that, as we've mentioned before, Andy Green is excited about. They have a lot of confidence in him, especially out in left field. He can also start at shortstop. We've seen him there. Fastball in, got him.
Fastball just got away. No intent there whatsoever. Looked like it caught him on the left hip area.
Catcher, Luis Torrens.
That's one thing. Those guys with the big leg kick like Cordoba features, it's tough for them to get out of the way of inside pitches. They got all that weight on the back foot, striding forward. They really can't stop themselves until that front foot comes down.
Luis Torrens, Rule 5 catcher. 1 for 10 at the plate to begin his major league career. And 1 hit came against the Diamondbacks last week at Petco Park. Padres traded an infield prospect to Cincinnati to acquire the rights to Torrens as they try and build up some catching depth. Torrens 3 seasons in the Yankees minor league system. He's never played above A ball as a professional prior to this year. Now here he is in the big leagues. That's a pretty big jump. But such is the case with Rule 5 picks. Yankees had him last season. They waived him in December. Cincinnati claimed him and they flipped him here to San Diego in a trade. Hits one along the right field line. The freight train has got it in foul ground. And that's the first out in the 5th.
Good jump that time by David Peralta. Got off on the crack of the bat. That ball slicing down the right field line on a dead run and then breaks it down just as he gets into foul territory.
The pitcher, Jared Weaver. A strikeout victim his first time up. Taijuan so far has given up 1 run on 3 hits. He's not walked a batter and he's got 6 strikeouts. Here come the corners. Pops up the bunt, foul.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located right here at Chase Field during any D-backs home game.
Lamb in on the grass at third. You see Goldie at first. Holding Cordoba on the bag. Weaver squares to bunt. Here comes Goldie as well. Another pop up. He lets it drop. Now Cordoba's in trouble. They get the out at first. That takes the force play off. They got to tag him. And there it is. Well executed by the Diamondbacks. Applause, applause. The skipper liked that one. Goldie, a heads up play to let that drop. And it turns into a double play. 4-1 Diamondbacks.
4-1 D-backs. What a heads-up play by Paul Goldschmidt. A bunt attempt by Jared Weaver with a runner at first base. It's popped in the air. You could clearly see the runner at first going back to the bag. Weaver was not running out of the box, so Goldie just let it drop. They get the force play at first base, a 3-4 put out there, and then a 4-6 put out, a very quick rundown on Torrens. Nice double play to get out of the inning.
And as soon as you step on the bag at first, that takes the force at second off, right?
Right. Torrens is then caught in a rundown, which the Diamondbacks handled perfectly.
Taijuan Walker will lead off the 5th inning against Jared Weaver. We're joined in our booth, as always, by the lovely Vanessa, who is here modeling. Our Mother's Day clutch purse will be handed out here at the ballpark on Mother's Day.
Isn't this great?
Now, you are the expert. Is this a quality item or what?
I was just going to say, this is great for moms because, see, when we go out places, maybe like a D-backs game or you're out on the evening, you only want to bring the essentials, you know, the driver's license, the money, lipstick, little things, and they all fit in here. It even has compartments for your driver's license and your debit card.
First 10,000 moms in attendance get the D-backs clutch purse, courtesy of PetSmart. So get your Mother's Day tickets now, fans, at dbacks.com. Yeah, we don't hand out cheap stuff up here.
Of course not.
This is solid.
And you rep your Diamondbacks.
Bouncer up the middle. And a nice play there by Ryan Schimpf to throw out Taijuan Walker. I want to mention while you're here, I was on the Twitter the other night, and I saw that you, it was tweeted out, had won an award. As always, we want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
For your work in the fight against cancer.
Yes, it's with the American Cancer Society, and it was the Rising Star Woman of the Year award. So it was fun. We raised money, awareness, all about cancer, and it was a great, a great thing to do. And we met with other people, and it was just, it makes me feel good that so many people are coming together to fight against cancer.
Nicely done. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Our thanks to Vanessa.
You may be their rising star, but you've been a star here for a long time.
Ah, thanks. See? Making a girl blush.
Then I saw her then in an ad on the internet where she was married to a guy who was a bug.
Huh?
A big mosquito.
Yeah, what was that about? The guy's head was a mosquito.
It's for the Zika virus.
All right. A.J. Pollock has a base hit with one out here in the 5th.
We made a cute couple, right?
Well, not really.
A giant bug.
It was a little scary.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey, you never know where they're at.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Another hard hit ball by A.J. just past Jared Weaver and under the glove of Yangervis Solarte on into center field. Now the fun begins again.
One out single. Here's David Peralta. But Peralta, last time up, so far he's grounded out and struck out, had a little bit of a confusing at bat. He got caught looking at a 2-strike fastball. So we'll see what David looks for here, or what he gets. That was close at first, and they got him, says Adrian Johnson.
AJ doesn't believe it. He's not going to leave the base quite yet.
You got 30 seconds to decide if you want to challenge. Here's a look.
He was definitely leaning the wrong way.
Yeah, got caught leaning towards second.
Try that trick slide. Put the right hand out, pull it back, try to avoid the tag, and then get on the base. Unfortunately, I do think Will Myers got him in the chest as AJ was reaching for the base.
He was already negotiating there with Adrian Johnson lying on the ground. Well, I don't know. Nice try. So Pollock is picked off. That's the second out. You live with those occasionally, right?
Absolutely.
If you're going to be as aggressive on the bases as the Diamondbacks are, you will have that happen from time to time, right?
Absolutely. And you're going to have guys thrown out on the bases in attempted steals from time to time. But the Diamondbacks are very careful about the times. We see Dave McKay over there at first base with a stopwatch. We see the coaches on the bench with stopwatches. Occasionally we see players with stopwatches over there on the bench, timing the pitcher's delivery, doing the math and figuring it out. Yeah, he can steal this base, and occasionally the catcher's going to make a perfect throw. The pitcher's going to unload quickly to home plate, and you're going to get thrown out.
Deep fly ball, left center field. Cordova's out there at the track, and he runs it down just shy of the wall. We are through 5. The Diamondbacks lead the Padres 4-1.
Geico this day in baseball history. We know that guy. Brandon Webb called up from the minor leagues just a few days before his first career start at Shea Stadium in New York. 7 innings, 3 hits, shutout baseball, punched out 10, only walked 1, and contributed with the bat. Put down 2 sacrifice bunts in that game.
And then got sent down.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Nice job.
Why did he get sent down exactly?
Yeah, it was a roster thing, and a guy coming off, Randy was coming off the disabled list to start the second game of the doubleheader, and we needed the roster spot, so Webby got sent back, but he came right back up.
Manuel Margot, the leadoff man, leads off the 6th against Taijuan Walker. D-backs have a 4-1 edge, and there's his strike. Taijuan labored in that first. He had a 21-pitch first inning, but he's really settled in. An 8-pitch second coming off a 7-pitch 5th. And a double play that Goldie initiated really helped him out there.
You know, just a footnote on Webby. His next 2 starts, you know, we've heard Torey Lovullo talk about give me 21 outs, give me 21 outs.
Yeah.
Webby went 7 innings his first start, 7 innings his second start, 7 innings his third start, gave up a total of 11 hits in 21 innings and struck out 20 opposing batters.
He was pretty good.
He was really good. Got 12 ground ball outs in that game, only 2 fly ball outs. Wow. That was a pattern that would repeat itself time and time and time again.
Out of play.
Hey, we actually have another one involving Brandon Webb this day in baseball history in 2008.
Interesting.
Webby's in everything.
He's a man of the world. Low breaking ball rolled over to third for Lamb. One down. Margot 0 for 3.
In 2008, the Diamondbacks beat the Padres 2-1, breaking the franchise mark for wins in April. The 18th win of the month. Webby outdueled Jake Peavy and became only the 3rd pitcher in Major League history to win 6 games in the first month of the season.
Oh, 6 games. Well, the D-backs win tonight will make them 15-9. Pesky Eric Ibar doubled his last time up, hit the ball pretty deep to left center field. Ibar has now hit safely in 5 straight games and 8 of his last 9. 5 hits in the series. Fly ball to center. A.J. Pollock pretty deep. He's got it shy of the warning track, and that's the 2nd out. Hey fans, MLB.TV Premium is back, and it's better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, you'll get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so visit MLB.TV for details. I think you got to know your password for that, too.
Oh, jeez.
Will Myers doubled and scored in the first. This booth should be a TV show. Like what happens in like the 2 hours before the game. People come in with their problems. It's day-to-day, everyday stuff that we all deal with.
Yeah.
And we've already shot several episodes of the Dennis Lamb Show from up here. We might have to branch off a spin-off series. All the things that we go through.
Oh boy.
0-2.
Now, if I put it in the trash, does it just go away? Can I get it back?
I'm going to get Joan mad at me. I'm going to lay off that one.
That was me.
Oh, no. Hey, we've all been there a million times. 1-2 on Will Myers. Chris Herman behind the plate tonight.
We wanted to swing at that. With that up the ladder fastball. Taijuan, if you'll notice, if he's trying to throw a fastball for a strike early in the count, he'll pound it down there at knee level. But once he gets ahead in the count, he's not afraid to go up that ladder and throw that shoulder high fastball. Get a lot of very awkward looking swings.
Up and in that time. That's a little uncomfortable at 96 miles an hour.
Myers had to limbo underneath a up and in fastball in the game last night.
That's high and foul. That might reach the third deck. Holy Toledo, it's halfway up the third deck. That was a big league foul ball.
Well, after getting that fastball up underneath his chin in the mid to upper 90s, he came back with a changeup, and Myers was so far out in front, he hit it over the Diamondbacks dugout about halfway up the upper deck.
One more time on 3-2. That one got the Herminator back there. Taijuan's command has been pretty solid through his first 4 starts. He's walked more than one batter in a game only once so far. Ooh, side of the mask.
It's not as bad as it looks. It always looks awful because the mask goes flying off of your helmet. But yeah, if you take them out there on those ear extensions, you don't really feel them that much.
This has been
easy for me to say sitting up here.
The longest at bat of the ball game for Taijuan Walker, the 8th pitch of the at bat, and Myers strikes out. That's 7 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker. The first time tonight he's gotten Myers. Bottom 6 coming up. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 4-1. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. All 4 Diamondback runs tonight have come via the home run. Chris Owings a pair of solo shots, and Yasmani Tomas a 2-run homer. As Goldie leads off the 6th against Jared Weaver.
And if you like that, stick around.
Goldie, Lamb, Tomas 3, 4, and 5 due up. Paul has grounded out. Last time up, he walked, stole a base, and scored a run. Came in on the Tomas home run. Chris Owings tonight, his first ever multi-home run game. Just a couple of days after he hit his first career grand slam. CO in there at second base for Brandon Drury tonight. Brandon's knee is just fine. He expects to be back tomorrow. 2-1 slider missed. It's 3 balls and a strike. Weaver so far has walked 2. He's got 1 strikeout. Luis Torrens, the Rule 5 pick. He was playing in A ball last year on Staten Island, and now he's catching in the big leagues. Oldie can't check. Full count, 3-2. Jake Lamb on deck. Base hit. A leadoff single for Goldie. 5 hits for the Diamondbacks. Goldie has now hit safely in 7 straight.
Well, what a nice approach. You have to figure Jared Weaver's not going to come inside to guys that are capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He tries to throw a fastball away at 86, and Goldie just flips it out there into right field for a leadoff base hit. Weaver's one of those guys. Some hitters look up or down. Some look in or out. Some look fastball or breaking ball. Weaver, I think you can just look away because he doesn't throw hard enough to throw it by you inside, even if you are looking on the outside part of the plate.
And then when they hit it, it's Andy Green who wants to look away.
Yeah, look away.
Lamb 0 for 2. Padres have the shift on. Ibar, the shortstop, over near the third base bag. Schimpf, the third baseman, is behind second base umpire Gary Cederstrom. And Solarte slides over. Check swing roller. Solarte bobbles it, and they'll get 1.
Well, that's one of the most frustrating at bats as a hitter, a check swing. You don't even really get a good rip at it and put the ball in play. Solarte, in his haste to try to turn 2 up the middle of the field that time, didn't come up with it cleanly, but stays with it. Bare hand throw as he's falling to the ground in time to get Jake Lamb.
Yasmani Tomas, a 2-run home run to right field his last time up, his 5th of the year. Yasmani 5 hits and 4 runs batted in the series. Goldie at second, 1 out. D-backs beginning play today, tied with the Rockies for the NL West lead. Colorado lost at home this afternoon. The Nationals beat them up 16-5. Rockies come in here tomorrow night to start a 3-game series. Robbie Ray on the mound against Kyle Freeland. Fouled back here, and it's 0-2. D-backs with a win tonight can take the series 3 games to 1. Kirby Yates, the right-hander, warming up with the Padre bullpen. A win would give the D-backs wins in each of their first 4 home series of the season. That would be a first in team history. Yasmani belts one to left center, and it rolls all the way to the wall. Goldie can jog on in. He's the taco run. It's 5-1 Diamondbacks. Who's up for some tacos?
Oh, another 4-seam fastball just below the belt, middle of the plate. I mean, if you were standing there in the batter's box like they used to do in baseball and you yell out to the pitcher, throw it right here. That's where Yasmani would want it.
Yasmani Tomas, his 7th double this year. He's knocked in 3 runs tonight. He's at second. A run is in. Still just 1 out for the catcher, Chris Herman, who's 0 for 2. Well, we've already got 3 jumbo jacks. We've got tacos. Just need to hang on and get that pizza.
Absolutely, the fast food trifecta. You notice that the pizza is the grand prize in the fast food trifecta.
I have a feeling you had something to do with that. Well, D-backs hitters have been feasting on opposing pitching all year long here at Chase Field. Some big offensive numbers put up. Herman ahead 3-0. Owings, who has homered twice in 2 at-bats, is on deck. His first ever multi-home run game. Weaver now at 80 pitches, only 44 for strikes. Bullpen has been busy for the Padres. Chris Herman gets into one. High fly ball. This is going to stay in the yard for Renfroe. Tomas tags and heads to third. And he's in there. That'll bring up CO, a solo homer in the third, and a solo homer in the fourth. Numbers 3 and 4 on the year.
Now the first one about 2 rows deep. This one, I don't know, about 20 rows deep in left field, over the Diamondbacks bullpen, right down that left field line.
Here comes Andy Green, the slow walk to the mound to go get Jared Weaver. Kirby Yates is on his way in. Chris Owings coming up back after this. D-backs lead the Padres 5-1. Fans Sunday on Fox. The NASCAR Monster Energy Series hits high gear in Richmond. It's the Toyota Owners 400. Sunday starts at 10:30 in the morning, only on Fox. New pitcher for the Padres. It's the right-hander Kirby Yates. 1 major league appearance this year. That came with the Anaheim Angels. He was claimed off waivers this week from Anaheim. Started the season with their AAA team in Salt Lake City. Pitched pretty well there, actually, but was waived, and now he's in the Padre pen.
Spent some time in the big leagues with the Tampa Bay Rays, with the Yankees, also with the Angels, as you mentioned, just claimed off waivers from the Angels.
Chris Owings, 2 at-bats, 2 home runs, both solo shots. He's up there with Yasmani Tomas at third and 2 outs. 1 run already in. There's a strike and it's 0-1. Boy, Chris Owings, 13 games at Chase Field. He's got 18 RBIs this year. 10 RBIs in this series, including 3 home runs. Yasmani Tomas, an RBI double, went to third on the Herman fly ball out. One and 2. Tomas is such a swing bat in this lineup because you know Pollock and Peralta, we've talked about what they've been doing lately. You know they're going to produce. Goldie's Goldie, Lamb is Lamb. Yasmani, if he's driving in runs in the middle of this lineup, it really extends things for the Diamondbacks. He makes a big difference in that 5-hole. Last night, Bob, was a big difference. I mean, Yasmani had a tough night. I mean, they had their chances, but he struck out 3 times, hit into a double play, grounded out in that 9th inning. But tonight, a 2-run homer, an RBI double, and they're up 5-1.
Yeah, you're right. It just extends that top of the batting order and possibly sets the stage for the guys at the bottom.
Two and two.
To look back to the games that Chris Owings has played since he hit in the 3 spot for Goldie's day off. I thought maybe that was the turning point, but CO was hot well before that.
It just made such an enormous difference to have that shoulder healthy. It all goes back to several years ago when he suffered that labrum injury. It took him a year to get that strength back, but now he's really driving the ball like prior to the injury. Full count, 3 and 2. And a frustrating 2015 season for Chris, trying to rebuild that shoulder strength after the operation to repair that right labrum tear. He was told, look, this kind of thing takes a full year. Other players have gone through it. Matt Kemp is a good example. It's just for whatever reason you don't get back to full strength until 1 calendar year after the surgery. So Chris during that 2015 season hit under 230. But last year back to full strength. The batting average was up 50 points, and he's just killing the ball this year. Putting up a fight here against Kirby Yates, 3 and 2. Another good thing for Chris, he's not hitting the ball on the ground as often as he did last year. His ground ball rate was up about 10% last season from 2 years ago. Now line drives down the lines and in the gaps. He works a walk.
Yeah, if you really wanted to nitpick Chris Owings' early season, he hasn't walked a lot. That was only his 5th base on balls all year. But when you're swinging a bat as good as he is, you don't mind he doesn't walk.
Always been a very aggressive hitter up there. Never walked much at all in the minor leagues. They're on the corners. 2 down for Nick Ahmed. Nick 0 for 2. Nick has got 3 hits in the series. He doubled in last night's ball game. Owings takes off for second. No throw from Terrens, and CO has his 6th stolen base. Not going to throw through with Tomas down there at 3rd.
Terrens tried that full arm fake, hoping to draw Yasmani down the line at 3rd base, but he's not biting.
Base hit, scores 2. D-backs already up 5-1 here in the 6th. Talking about Chris Owings being healthy. Same for Nick Ahmed after that painful hip injury that he played with for much of last year. Only played 90 games last season. That right hip impingement that eventually needed surgery. Nick had to sit out the final 2 months last year. But now everything feels good. No more pain, no more pinching in there. He's got that explosiveness back. Fly ball left field. Cordova's there. And Kirby Yates strands 2, but the Diamondbacks tack on 1 more. Yasmani Tomas, a 2-run homer in the 4th. He's added an RBI double in the 6th. It's 5-1 Diamondbacks.
Welcome back. Kate Longworth here with the big story tonight that comes from the Rocky Mountains as the Nats once again come out on top of the Rockies. 16-5 the final. Washington took 3 out of 4 from Colorado, dropping the Rockies to 14-9 overall, which means if the D-backs hold on to the W tonight, they'll have sole possession of the NL West, setting up for quite the series this weekend at Chase. And this bounce-back performance we're seeing so far from the Diamondbacks is exactly what Torrey was hoping for. He admitted that these are the moments you can worry about because the team did drop the game late last night in the 9th. They also lost Shelby Miller for a significant amount of time, so he knew they were up against some tough things to overcome. But he says the best teams work through losses without accepting them, and he wanted to see the Diamondbacks' mental toughness tonight.
It was bound to happen sooner or later. You're not going to go with 5 starting pitchers all season long, that's for sure. So now it's time to press on without Shelby for the foreseeable future as Yangervis Solarte leads off the 7th. This is the deepest all season Taijuan Walker has pitched into a baseball game. This one is slicing toward the left field line for Yasmani Tomas. Taijuan's previous longest outing was his first here on April 5th. He went 6 innings against the Giants, but he's pitched into the 7th here tonight. He's not given up a base hit since Eric Ibar's double in the 3rd inning.
And has only thrown 78 pitches through 6 starting this inning. 78 pitches, that's 13 an inning. He's been very efficient after that first.
He's retired 6 in a row. Here's Hunter Renfroe.
All fastballs so far tonight to Hunter Renfroe, and he hasn't been able to catch up with any of them.
I don't think he can help himself when he sees a fastball. Renfroe has come up through the minors with that violent swing we mentioned earlier. They've tried to sort of calm him down about that. Trying to crush everything he sees. He looks at a fastball there. Well, he can't help himself that time, but it didn't work out. 8 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker.
Elevates a fastball in the estimation of Eric Cooper, right at the top of the strike zone.
2 outs on 5 pitches, including a strikeout. That brings up Ryan Schimpf, who's 0 for 2. Taijuan so far has given up just 1 run on 3 hits. No walks, 8 strikeouts. Slow curveball in there for strike 1. Diamondbacks overload the right hand side. Fights off a fastball, and it's 0-2. Fans don't miss the NL West showdown here at Chase Field this weekend. This is a big series. The D-backs and the Rockies, a 3-game set. starts tomorrow for his 20,000 fans in attendance on Saturday. Get a D-backs tote bag courtesy of MLB Network. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Kate had the highlights of the Nationals Rockies game today. Washington won that one 16-5. So we get 3 against the Rockies this weekend. Then after the game on Sunday, we fly to D.C. Off day on Monday. A 3-game set at Nats Park starts Tuesday.
The starter for the Rockies tomorrow night, Kyle Freeland, as we get another look at that backdoor attempt to drop a curveball on that outside corner. Kyle Freeland, the 8th pick in the draft back in 2014. He's from Denver, pitching for his hometown team.
Yeah, they have some very good young pitchers in Colorado. I mentioned that this is the deepest that Taijuan has gone into a game this year. We'll see if he extends. Pitcher spot is due to lead off in the next half inning. So we'll see how Torey Lovullo wants to play it. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, on the right there. No one warming up at the D-backs bullpen. Here's the 2-2 to Schimpf. Pretty well hit. Deep right field. Peralta's at the wall, and it's gone. Ryan Schimpf has done it again. That's his 2nd home run in as many games, his 5th of the year. This guy's got 8 hits this season. 5 of them are homers.
And we joked about it last night. Sometimes the best motivator is bringing up a guy from the minor leagues that plays your position. And the Padres called up Corey Spangenberg a couple of days ago, sending Ryan Schimpf to the bench. But if he keeps hitting the ball in the seats, he's going to see more playing time.
Well, that's what he did last year. He came up in mid-season as a 28-year-old rookie after 8 years in the minors, and he hit 20 homers in half a season for the Padres last year. Strike 1 to Alan Cordoba. Just the 3rd home run given up this year by Taijuan Walker. And the funny thing about Schimpf, Bob, is he's a little dude, 5'9", 180, but when he hits them, boy, they go. Got tremendous power.
He's got a lot of lift in his swing, tries to hit the ball in the air, which makes him susceptible to some pitches, but when he gets something in the zone, he can put a charge on it.
Nick Ahmed retires Cordoba. Padres get one back. We stretch a chase. It's 5-2 Diamondbacks. We start the bottom of the 7th. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 5-2. 3 D-backs homers, 2 by Chris Owings, 1 by Yasmani Tomas. And Taijuan Walker has got 8 strikeouts. He's already got his 21 outs. Taijuan at 92 pitches through 7 innings, but he will take the at-bat to lead off the 7th. Another case of Torey Lovullo being very patient with his starting pitchers.
Well, Taijuan's given him every reason for that confidence today. Man, just pounding away at the top of the zone with that four-seam fastball, throwing some really nice curveballs, and kept his pitch count down.
Well, Taijuan, let's see, through 94, 98, 87, and 96 pitches in his 4 starts this year. He's at 92 right now through 7. And a real good at bat in the 3rd inning. He was down 0-2, worked the count full, and then drew a walk. That was against Jared Weaver. Kirby Yates back out there now, after coming on to relieve Weaver in the 6th. He's behind on Taijuan, 3-0. You know, ever since Taijuan has taken this minimalist approach to his at-bats, he's done pretty well. He's got a hit, he's got a walk.
He just looks hitterish. They don't want to challenge him.
Hard to blame him. Other fastballs in there, and it's 3-2. A.J. Pollock on deck. Slaps one to Solarte at second. 1 out. What do A.J. Pollock's teammates think about their center fielder? Let's find out.
You know, he's one of the more underrated players in the game of baseball, I think.
He's a funny guy. Likes to clown around a lot. Always has something to say. AJ's a lot cockier than I thought. Mr. Know-It-All.
Usually lying about something to make you do something stupid. So just do the opposite of what he says.
Good advice there from Patrick Corbin. Oh, these New England guys, they think they know it all.
Well, I can't speak to the rest of them, but I know Goldie's comment was accurate. One of the most underrated players in the game.
His season 2 years ago was just sensational. All-Star, Gold Glover. What a year it was for AJ. 2015, 315, 20 homers, knocked in 76 runs, 39 doubles, 39 stolen bases, Gold Glove in the outfield. He was second in the league in hits and second in the league in runs scored that year.
And was really taking that next step forward and becoming what we heard his teammates say, a leader on the field. Sometimes guys that are natural leaders, they feel like they have to produce. You know, I've got to hold up my end of the bargain here. I need to go out and put up some numbers. Nice play, young man. And the season that AJ had a couple of years ago, he justified his leadership, and the guys look to him now.
I mean, they're only kidding about, you know, he's always lying. But he's, you know, he's got a little salt in his shorts.
Oh, yeah.
He's got. If there's an angry guy out there, the Diamondbacks don't have many. It's probably AJ. High fly ball left center. Margot calling off Cordoba. Going to do a little better job of calling him off, and that's the second out.
It's good to see it happen to somebody else. The Diamondbacks had some issues about a week ago. Some tweeners in right center and left center field, and outfielders came together out there.
Some of your staff, Bob, is here. They've just handed me a note. It might be time to send out our first fan contract of the year. We haven't done that yet this year.
I didn't actually see the catch that young man made, but it must have been a good one because he's still high-fiving people.
I know you have to have the final say, so here's a look.
Oh, yeah.
That was a liner off the bat of A.J. Pollock. So if you approve, your committee will send a contract out of that young man. Peralta squirts one the other way. It's in the corner. And the freight train digs for second. He's in there easily with his 6th double. Sound that train horn.
We've seen a lot of these this year from David Peralta. You want to play an exaggerated pull shift? Fine. I'll look for something out over the plate and slap it to the opposite field. He didn't exactly slap that ball to the opposite field. He drove it over there.
A chance for Goldie, who has walked, singled, stolen a base, and scored twice. First pitch slider is in there for strike one. Goldie now with a 7-game hitting streak. He's got 12 RBIs over that span. Went to a fastball in and missed. It's 1-1. How would you pitch to Goldie? You're the catcher back there. What are you calling for? I know it depends on what the pitcher has, but in general. Walk him?
Yeah, that works. I think you almost have to read his swing. If you throw a fastball down the middle and Goldie takes it, I'd throw all fastballs. If you throw a breaking ball up there first pitch and he's coming out of his shoes swinging at him, I wouldn't throw him another breaking ball the rest of the game. I think occasionally Goldie does so much homework on opposing pitchers and catchers in the game they like to call, and then he kind of generates a game plan in his mind for every at bat. And sometimes a hitter will tell you what he's looking for by what he does not swing at. Take a fastball right down the middle, this guy might be sitting on a breaking ball.
3 balls and 1 strike. Roll over to third for Schimpf. We'll head to the 8th inning at Chase Field. D-backs lead the Padres 5-2. Having thrown 92 pitches already, our Cox high-speed highlights Taiwan. 7 innings so far. He's given up just 2 runs on 4 hits. He's not walked a batter, and he's got 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, watch this series of high fastballs here. Padres hitters just cannot lay off that high 4-seamer, and he's just been hammering it up there at the top of the zone all night long. 21 outs in the ball game. 10 of those have come on 3 pitches or fewer.
The deepest he had gone into a game all year was 6 innings. He's gotten Torey Lovullo his 21 outs, and he's back out there to get some more. Corey Spangenberg will hit for Luis Torrens. Pitcher spot due up next, and Hector Sanchez, another pinch hitter, is in the on-deck circle. There's another high fastball, and it's 0-1 on Spangenberg, who is 2 for 9 this season. He struck out 5 times. Called up for the minor leagues on Tuesday. Oh, 0-2.
Fastball up. Why not? He's been working against everybody in this Padres lineup tonight.
95 pitches, 62 for strikes. Strikeout number 9. 1 down in the 8th.
Took him out on a high fastball.
Kirby Yates, number 44, Hector Sanchez.
I'll tell you what, it's not that easy to command a fastball at the top of the zone and above. Yeah, pitchers are so drilled into keep the ball down, keep the ball down, keep the ball down. And for Taijuan Walker, that's his strength, is to pitch up at the top of the zone.
Hector Sanchez hits for the pitcher Kirby Yates. 1 for 12 at the plate this year. His one hit came in that San Diego 9th inning rally last night. Taijuan, despite working up with that fastball so often, has had good command. As we said before, he's walked more than one batter in a game only once all year, and he has not walked a batter tonight.
We could kind of see that coming in the Cactus League. He wasn't walking anybody in spring training either.
Big slow curveball from Walker, and it's 1-2. Yeah, he had some starts in spring training where he looked like a robot out there. It was just strike 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Pitch number 100 coming up. Lays off that high fastball. He's still throwing 95 here into the 8th inning. 100 pitches, 65 strikes. Sanchez can't check, and that's 10 strikeouts for Taijuan Walker.
He showed Sanchez a curve earlier in the sequence, which planted a little bit of doubt in his mind. A very tentative swing there for strike 3.
An 8-pitch second, a 7-pitch 5th. He had a little bit of a bumpy ride with that 21-pitch first when Myers doubled with 2 outs and Solarte single to drive him home. But that has pretty much been most of the Padre offense, other than the Schimpf homer in the 7th. Taijuan has given up only 2 runs on 4 hits. 0-1 on Manuel Margot, who's 0 for 3. Another high fastball, can't lay off. It's 0-2.
Well, Margot has a 6-game hitting streak on the line here, as does Hunter Renfroe.
J.J. Hoover in the Sanderson Ford bullpen.
I don't know if you checked the stat sheet today, but they have a page National League rookie batting departmental leaders. And Margot and Renfroe are all over it.
Taijuan Walker strikes out the side in the 8th inning. He's punched out 11, and he leads it 5-2.
the start of D-Backs Live coming up after this game here tonight. One of the focuses, I'm sure, will be on Taijuan Walker. He got the 21 outs, and now he's looking for gravy, right?
Yeah, he did an excellent job tonight, letting his fastball work. Showed signs of a great curveball, but mainly stayed hard. Saw his fastball eat there in the 8th inning, and got 3 strikeouts, struck out the side. All of them coming on fastballs up in the zone.
We'll break it down. We'll send it back to Steve and Bob. We'll also celebrate that anniversary of Brandon Webb, Bob, just for you.
Thank you, guys. Taijuan Walker, a lot of high fives after he struck out the side in the 8th inning. He has tied his career high with 11 strikeouts. 6th time in his career he's punched out 11. Jake Lamb leads off the bottom of the 8th inning against the new Padre pitcher. This is the right-hander Miguel Diaz, who's given up at least 1 run in 4 of his last 5 appearances. Padres have the shift on, and it's 2-0. It's a whole new battery, in fact. You see the numbers on Diaz. Hector Sanchez takes over behind the plate. He's the new catcher. Corey Spangenberg stays in the game. He moves out to left field. And Alan Cordoba shifts over to center, replacing Manuel Margot. There's a strike, and it's 2-1. So the pitcher's spot now batting leadoff for the Padres. Jake tonight 0 for 3. Squib shot. Ibar's going to have to hurry. Bare hand play. And Lamb's aboard. He rolled it away from the shift.
Well, it wasn't the home run I was predicting tonight for Jake Lamb, but he'll take that infield hit nonetheless. Barehanded play by Ibar, way too late at first base. Tell you, every advanced scout in the ballpark hopes for a play like that so they can get an accurate time on a runner down the first baseline, because Jake Lamb was smelling base hit. Little cue shot to the left side. He knew it was going to be a tough play, but he had to really bust it down that line. All the advanced scouts got a good time on Jake Lamb right there.
Good night for Yasmani Tomas. A 2-run homer and an RBI double. He's 2 for 3. Yasmani now with 6 hits and 5 RBIs in the series. Batting .312 on the year. It's in the dirt, blocked by Sanchez, and Jake Lamb advances 90 feet. Wild pitch charge to Diaz. Yasmani Tomas in the 4th inning goes the other way over the head of Hunter Renfroe for a 2-run homer, his 5th of the year. And then in the 6th, an RBI double to the gap in left center.
Emphasis on Major League Baseball to try to speed up the pace of the game. One thing the Padres could do is get your signs together with your pitcher before they get a runner at second base. Every time the Diamondbacks have had a runner at second, the Padre catcher had to go out and talk it over with the pitcher. What signs are we going to use now? That's something that could be taken care of before you even leave the clubhouse.
Well, I mean, in all seriousness, there's been a lot of discussion about limiting mound visits for catchers, or eliminating them altogether, or, you know, making sure the manager can only have a mid-inning pitching change once or twice in a ball game. All kinds of rules about limiting visits to the pitcher's mound over the course of the game. 2-1 to Tomas. Bounce to second. Solarte makes a nice backhand play, and Lamb moves along to third. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink, the Colorado Rockies. It'll be a battle for first in the NL West. A 3-game series starts tomorrow night. Robbie Ray and Kyle Friedland, the rookie from Denver that Bob mentioned, will start tomorrow. And then Saturday, Zach Greinke against the left-hander Tyler Anderson. Friedland's also a lefty. And then on Sunday, Patrick Corbin against another Rocky rookie. It's Herman Marquez. 3 games against the Rockies, then it's off to Washington, D.C. 3 games set at Nats Park, starts on Tuesday. Here's Chris Herman, who's 0 for 3. That one rolls away, and here comes Lamb. He will score. Diamondbacks tack on a run. It's 6-2.
Sanchez was a guy when he was with the San Francisco Giants. He had some issues behind the dish. He's an offense-first guy back there behind the plate. Very little mobility. This breaking ball was down near the feet of Chris Herman. Tough play for any catcher, but Sanchez really struggles with those pitches in the dirt.
Saw Fernando Rodney warming up in the Diamondback bullpen as Herman fouls that one off Sanchez.
Well, we gave Jake Lamb a half an RBI earlier in the ball game for moving Goldie up from second to third, but nobody out in the inning. And Yasmani Tomas, a productive out. Ground ball up the middle.
Now Rodney is sitting and J.J. Hoover started warming up again. Yeah, you saw Jake Lamb get the single. Wild pitch, went to third on the Tomas ground out and comes home on another wild pitch. 2-1 on the Herminator. Defensive alignment. Schimpf, the third baseman, in the second base spot. Solarte on the outfield grass. Ibar near the bag at second. Left side of the field is wide open. That one almost killed Chris Owings. Ooh. Look out. Don't, the way Co's hitting the ball, don't even breathe on him wrong. That was a little too close for comfort. Chris tonight has homered twice, walked, and stolen a base. Another big night for Chris Owings. 2-2 on Chris Herman. Struck him out. Well, here comes Chris Owings at his first career grand slam earlier in this series. Tonight his first ever multi-homer game. A solo shot in the third, another one in the fourth. He walked and stole the bases last time up. Chris Owings. The first one just got over the fence. The second one was crushed.
Ooh, got over everything out there in left field.
Numbers 3 and 4 on the year, and he looks at strike one from Diaz. Yes, curveball flinched Chris a bit. He's down 0-2. Sanchez wants it up. Ibar at shortstop. We'll head to the ninth inning. Diamondbacks add a run. They lead at 6-2. D-backs trying to win this series, take 3 of 4 from the Padres and on to finish it off. It's the right-hander J.J. Hoover, our Ashline call to the bullpen. J.J. has been really solid this year. His 10th appearance, a 2.25 ERA.
He pitched in the first game of this series in relief of Zach Greinke. Came in after Silvino Bracho, who really struggled in that 7th inning of the ball game. J.J. Hoover came in and struck out Solarte and Renfroe to bring some sanity back to the ball game.
He'll face Eric Ibar, Will Myers, and Yangervis Solarte, 2, 3, and 4 in the Padre 9th. Ibar doubled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Rockies have already lost today. Nationals beat them at Coors Field 16-5, a Diamondback win. Will put the D-backs in first place atop the NL West as Colorado comes in for 3 starting tomorrow night. Dodgers won in San Francisco today. They beat the Giants 5-1. Tricky play at third for Jake Lamb. They retire Ibar.
That's one thing you worry about as a third baseman playing in to take away a bunt. He might slash one the opposite way. Fortunately, right at Jake, able to knock it down, make the play at first base for the first out.
Here's Will Myers, who has struck out 10 times in this series. He doubled and scored in the first. One more strikeout would help set a Diamondback record. If Hoover can come up with a strikeout here, it would be the first time in D-backs history that their pitchers have recorded at least 12 strikeouts in 4 consecutive games. They have struck out 11 Padres so far, all by Taijuan Walker, who was absolutely outstanding tonight. But one more strikeout would make it a record 4 games in a row with at least a dozen strikeouts. Behind on Myers, 2 balls and no strikes. What can you say about Taijuan Walker? He was sensational. 8 innings. Gave up only 2 runs on 4 hits. Did not walk a batter and tied a career high with 11 strikeouts. Taijuan in line to improve to 3-1 on the year. One more time for Jake Lamb at third. Boy, his throws have really been on the money for the most part this year. That was another good example. Occasionally an issue last year, but Jake has really come a long way in that department.
Yeah, much better alignment when he's getting ready to throw. Watch him use his feet here. Gets that left shoulder pointed right at his target. Gets up on top of that throw across the diamond. Great carry that time. Get that momentum going. Little shuffle of the feet. Step right to the target and fire a strike to Goldie.
One more out to get. Yangervis Solarte, an RBI single. He's 1 for 3. Solarte with an 8-game hitting streak. Diamondbacks with a win here would improve to 11-3 at home this year, equaling the best home start in Diamondback history. Last time they did that, 2008. 1-1. A win would also give the D-backs victories in each of their first 4 home series of the year. Last time they did that, 2008. One and two.
J.J. Hoover going upstairs with a 95-mile-an-hour heater. He's been paying attention down there in the bullpen tonight.
Good point. Renfroe would be next.
Three pumps, should be a slider.
Ahmed at shortstop. Diamondbacks win it. They take 3 of 4 from San Diego. They improved to 5-2 on this homestand, and they are leading the National League West with a record of 15-9.
Boy, what a clean ball game tonight. The offense just enough. Big night for Chris Owings, a couple of home runs, but the night for me belongs to Taijuan Walker. You just got the bad news that you're going to miss Shelby Miller for who knows how long, and have the next guy in the rotation go out there and pitch a gem like this. Big pick-me-up for the team.
Taijuan went 8 innings, the deepest he's gone into a ball game this year, and tied a career high with 11 strikeouts. Brandon Webb standing by with Todd Walsh. Diamondbacks live post-game shows on the air. Todd.
Steve, thank you. It is, Brandon, you win a 4-game series. That's hard enough. They bounce back after a loss in a late inning implosion, a rare home loss. They set up the matchup with Colorado. They are in first place when the Rockies roll into town tomorrow, and another come-from-behind victory. I'm not sure what else I've left on the table, but that's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done a lot, and it's a tribute to all their work they're putting in throughout the pitching staff, the hitters getting prepared for the games. Today, all around, Taijuan Walker took control of the game. The D-backs hitters came out aggressiveness, put enough runs on the board, and got the job done.
And you have some nuggets about that and Taijuan and more. So when we come back, Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show will begin. We'll get Bob Brenly involved, as we always do. Kate Longworth is down at field level. We'll have a live guest to start things off into the clubhouse, as well as comments from Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo. Diamondbacks win 6-2 here at Chase Field. We'll come back.